This review is made possible by Napleton Mazda of Naperville. Napleton Mazda of Naperville offers a wide selection of Mazda products that will fit everyone's lifestyle. Start your new car search off right and visit them online at napervillemazda.com.
Alright, what's up guys? My name is Zach and today I am driving a 2021 Mazda Cx-30 Turbo Premium. Up front is a 2.5 liter turbocharged inline 4 and down below is a 6-speed automatic transmission. Now I'm excited to be driving this here Cx-30 for two reasons. First of all, I am a diehard Mazda fan, and I own personally a 2019 Mazda 3 with just the naturally aspirated 2.5 liter. And I want to get that out there because I have tons and tons of experience with these vehicles, and so I'm really excited to share that experience with you today. The second reason I'm super excited is because 2021 is the first year that Mazda has offered the Cx-30 Turbo. I remember exactly where I was when I got the notification that Mazda was going to do this. I was standing in my neighbor's front lawn trying to get my dad's drone out of their tree. That's a true story, and while I'm not proud of it, I remember it. So I'm excited to finally drive the car that I was notified about just a few months ago. So let's get back to that 2.5 liter turbocharged inline 4. It makes about 250 horsepower, 320 foot-pounds of torque on premium gas. Now, on premium gas is an important part of that sentence because you can actually run this car on unleaded, just regular 87 octane. It won't hurt the car. There's a little sensor in the fuel system that can actually read and identify the octane rating of the fuel that you're using, and it'll switch the car's tune depending on the octane level of your fuel. So you don't have to hit a button, you don't have to do anything, the car will read it and give you the proper amount of horsepower depending on what kind of fuel you have. That is really, really cool and not found in a lot of other turbocharged cars. And especially with gas prices nowadays here in the Midwest, they've just been going up and up. I think right now premium gas is around $4 a gallon. You don't have to put premium into it. You still can, and you'll get that extra little horsepower, make the car feel a little sportier, but you don't have to do it, and that is absolutely fantastic. Speaking of gas, fuel economy is up on the screen. Again, hurt slightly by the turbo and slightly by the all-wheel drive, but still not bad numbers. All right, we are fully warmed up out here on the test track. Put it up into sport mode. Sport mode really just changes up the gear shifter, holds on to gears a little bit longer, makes it feel a little bit sportier, but it's not, anything crazy. So we'll do it from a stop here. 2.5 liter turbocharged inline 4. You're not really gonna hear anything and it's cold, so I'm not gonna open the window. And I'm gonna let the car shift itself. There it is. So there is some turbo lag. When you first get on it, you don't really notice it, but then you start noticing it, then you start noticing it, and then you're really noticing it. It offers a good punchy amount of power. Even the naturally aspirated Cx-30 I've always thought was decently quick and fun to drive. This is just more so. This is more quick, this is more fun to drive. I know more quick isn't the proper way of saying it, but I just said it, so sue me. Like I said, paired to it is a 6-speed automatic transmission. This is pretty much the same transmission that Mazda uses across their lineup. Like I said, my personal Mazda 3 has it, and I never really mind it. It's not the fastest transmission in the world, but at the end of the day, you don't really need a dual clutch when you're going to Hobby Lobby. That being said, I can plus minus if I'd like to, as well as I do have paddle shifters, but we'll talk about that when we talk about the steering wheel. Last but not least, the Cx-30 is all-wheel drive. Now you can only get the turbo engine with all-wheel drive. However, you can still get a front-wheel drive Cx-30 if you go down the trim levels towards the base model. Those are still available with front-wheel drive. If that's something you'd really like, or if you end up buying a lower trim Cx-30, it's going to be front-wheel drive. Speaking of the lower trim Cx-30, before we get into the interior, I do have a video on a lower trimmed Cx-30, and I'll leave that at the end of the video if you'd like to watch that one as well. It doesn't have as many bells and whistles as this one, but still interesting nevertheless. All right, so to save us both some time, I'm going to be doing today's sponsor reads, hot lapping the test track in my 2019 Mazda 3 all-wheel drive. The first sponsor is Fixed. Fixed is an automotive OBD2 sensor that you plug into your car, and it gives you tons of really cool diagnostics. Click the link in the description below, and you will get an offer code for my viewers only. You get a bunch of money off. Next is Con Plates. You don't want to stick the plate on the outside of your car? Cool. stick it out with some suction cups. And last but not least, if you want to sell your car, go to cashforcars.com. Click the link in the description below, get a free quote, and they'll pick up your car in less than 24 hours. Thank you to all the sponsors for making these reviews possible, and that is a wrap. So with that out of the way, let's talk about the interior. We have a bunch to talk about in here because this is the premium package. The turbo starts at $30,000, but the premium goes up to $33,000, and you get a lot of nice features added on top of that. So let's talk about them now. Well, in front of me, I have two physical gauges and a digital screen. On the left is my tachometer, in the center is my speedometer, and on the right is my coolant temperature and fuel. Getting back to that center speedometer, it's actually a screen, so I have a couple different views that I can look at. I normally keep mine on the radar cruise screen. I think it looks clean, simple, and modern, but I can switch it to a traditional speedometer where it mimics older style speedometers if you'd like. And then I can hit info on the steering wheel one more time, and it's that same speedometer, but it gives me driving information down in the center, like my compass and my average MPG. But speaking of MPG, I do have my MPG gauges on either side of that screen. Well, it's still part of the same screen, but on the left is my current MPG, and on the right is my miles till empty. However, in the center screen that we'll talk about a little bit later, I can actually change this to where the left is sort of like a bar and the right is also like a bar or typical gauge, or I could put it to type 2, or I can turn it off. I like that customization. I wish I got a little bit more customization in the gauges, but this will do. Moving on to the steering wheel, on the left, I have my volume, skip track, voice commands, and phone options, as well as that info button that will change the center gauge. And on the right, I have my radar cruise options. I absolutely love Mazda's radar cruise system. The CX-30 has it. All Mazdas have it. Besides the manual transmission vehicles, they do not have it. But there is a radar sensor in the Mazda badge as well as up at the top of the windshield, and it'll adjust your speed according to the vehicle in front of you. I've used this many times. Most notably, I drove from Maryland to Chicago in one day, and I think I hit the gas 3 times, and that was just pulling away from the gas stations. Other than that, the car did the entire thing on its own, speeding up and slowing down. And there is steering bump, so if you go over the line, the steering wheel will bump you, but this is not active steering. On the back side of the steering wheel, we do have paddle shifters, which is nice and a premium option. I like the overall feel of the steering wheel. It's really nice and thin, which is a trend I've been seeing in a lot of modern vehicles. We're going back to thin steering wheels, and I cannot tell you how excited I am for that. Up above me, I do have a heads-up display. So it is currently just showing my speed. It's nice and bright, but when I pull up to a stop sign, it'll actually read that stop sign, and it'll tell me what it is. So it'll just give me an alert. So maybe if I didn't see the stop sign, but the car did, it'll notify me and I can stop safely. It'll also tell me street name, lane guidance, traffic sign recognition we just talked about, and navigation, which is fantastic. And that can all be adjusted in the center screen. Again, what we'll talk about a little bit later on. To the left of me, I have my bubble button. So this will turn off the lane keep assist, cross traffic alert, blind spot monitoring, things like that. Then I do have hill assist, which is nice, and a CX-30 option that is not available on the Mazda 3s. The CX-30 is based off of the Mazda 3, and so this is a feature that it gets above that. Down below, another thing it gets on top of the Mazda 3 is the power tailgate, which is operated down here to the left, as well as I do have memory seats, part of the premium package. 2 different memory seat options, and I absolutely love that. On the door, we have the lock and unlock, power mirrors, and power windows. Nothing really too crazy here, except for this is where I see my first Bose speaker. The premium package comes with the premium sound, which is the Bose audio system. It has 12 speakers instead of 9, as well as they are a lot more premium of speakers. And let me tell you, I own a 2019 Mazda 3 that does not have the Bose audio system, and I kick myself almost every single day for not trying to find a car with it. The Bose system is far and away way better than the stock Mazda system. That's not to say the stock Mazda system is bad. I do enjoy it and it works, but as someone who listens to music and drives very far distances, I wish it had a little bit more bass, and that is offered here in the Bose system. So if you are any type of music fan, I would highly recommend trying to seek out the Bose system. Moving into the center, we have a nice display. This is typical of Mazda, same one that comes in the Mazda 3. It is not touchscreen. However, it is very nice and bright. It auto adjusts night and day, and I have tons of different things in here. Not only do I have tons of settings, like I was talking about, this is where you'll find your heads-up display settings. This is where you'll find your audio settings, vehicle settings, connectivity settings. But the CX-30 also comes with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto as standard. So plug your phone in, it'll do its thing, and that is absolutely awesome. The backup camera is nice and clear. Like I keep saying, I have tons of experience with it. I use it every single night to back up into my driveway because I'm one of those guys that backs in all the time. And it is really great. I really wish that the lines would change when I turn the steering wheel to kind of show my trajectory. Those lines that you're seeing right now are stationary. However, they are still very helpful. And I also wish that the CX-30 got the 360 camera that can be found in some CX-5s, as well as the turbo Mazda 3 gets that 360 camera and this car does not. So I really wish it did because I know Mazda has that technology, and for the price, I feel like I should get that, but that's okay. Moving down below the screen, I have my climate control options. Super minimalist here, just 2 knobs. I do have dual zone climate, auto climate, and I have heated seats and a heated steering wheel, which is fantastic. Love me a good heated steering wheel. It is a must here in the Chicagoland area, especially when we get our frigid temperatures. Then we do have a USB in. This is for the center screen. This is not the only USB in. And we have a little cubby and the 2 cup holders. So we will do a big friggin' bottle test, and unfortunately, the bottle does not fit here in the CX-30. It's a little bit of a height thing. I could probably make it work. It would probably stay in, but the bottle doesn't all the way go to the bottom, and so I can't really give the CX-30 a pass on that. It is what it is. My own personal car doesn't pass the big friggin' bottle test. Moving on to the center console. What you're seeing right now is that the center console looks white, and this is just the shipping packaging. I want to save that for whoever buys this vehicle. They get the honor of peeling that off, but this is what it looks like without that white material on it. Like I said, it's just stickers to protect it for shipping. Shifter feels nice. It's the same shifter found in every other automatic Mazda, and I do have a sport button off to the left, sport on or off, and that's it. I don't get an eco mode, and surprisingly, I don't get that annoying automatic start-stop feature that is found on a lot of other vehicles. Mazda doesn't even have that, which is awesome. I really love that because it just kills your starter motor. But down at the bottom, we have the power parking brake off to the left, auto holding brake, again, a feature I use all the flipping time in traffic, in drive-thrus, just in any sort of driving condition. What that is when that is enabled, you hit it and you hit the brake a little bit extra hard, and then you can take your foot off the brake and the vehicle will stay put. Once the light turns green, slowly get back onto the gas, and it disengages automatically. Then we have the radio controls off to the right of the parking brake. I really, really love this knob. It can be moved forward, back, left, and right, as well as it can be used as a scroll wheel, has fantastic tactile feedback. And like I say, I have driven literally hundreds of cars. You saw at the beginning, this is my 522nd review. I think overall, this is the best, easiest, most satisfying center controls I've ever used in a car, and that's across Mazda's lineup. The other thing I really love is that the volume knob is down where I rest my hand naturally as well. I can scroll with it, hit it to mute, as well as I can move it left and right to skip tracks. I use this all the time. I use this literally every single time I drive. I naturally rest my right hand by the shifter, and so I just click my thumb when I want to skip tracks. Yes, there are steering wheel controls, but I really find myself using this one more often. Then we do have a center console with another USB in for the center radio, as well as a 12-volt outlet and an SD card reader. Now we got to talk about the seats, and I really, really love the seats. They are the true Napa leather. The base models get a fake leather, but this is true Napa leather. Like I said, heated power memory. They're absolutely fantastic, and they have actually decent side bolsters, which I really, really like. But speaking of seats, we do have back seats, so let's go do a back seat review, then we'll talk about the trunk. All right, so now we're in the back of the 2021 Mazda Cx-30 Turbo Premium, and it's a little cramped back here. I am 5'11", and arguably not the smallest person you've ever seen. So it's a little bit cramped for me, but like I said, this is based off of the Mazda 3 platform. The Mazda 3 and the Mazda Cx-30 were essentially twins, but then this one kind of grew up and matured a little bit, while the Mazda 3 just kind of went to art school and then now is selling digital drawings online, which is essentially what I did. If that analogy makes sense. Went to a 4-year school to make YouTube videos. Anyway, this is not about my life story. This is about the CX-30. So it's a little bit tight back here. The Napa leather carries on back here. I do get the Bose speakers as well in the doors. And I get this fold down armrest with 2 cup holders. Headroom is decent. I got probably about an inch above my head. Like I said, I'm 5'11", so you're really not gonna have too much space issues. And honestly, if the driver and passenger are nice enough, they can scoot up a little bit and you'll be fine back here. It's really not the end of the world. But again, the Mazda 3 kind of suffers from this same sort of back seat space. So if back seats are a must, like my parents, they got a CX-5 and it's way, way better. And of course the CX-9 is way better, and it has a 3rd row. So if rear seating is an absolute must for you, I would highly recommend looking into the CX-5 or the CX-9. But speaking of size and things like that, let's go take a look at the trunk. Shut up, birds. I'm trying to make a YouTube video. All right, so around the back of the CX-30, press and hold. Something that the Mazda 3 does not get is a power tailgate. But coming into the back here, not really too much to show. I wish it did get a 12-volt outlet. However, I don't actually get one back here. But of course, the Mazda 3 doesn't get one, so why would the CX-30? These are the floor mats. They say CX-30 on them. I really like that. And these seats do fold down, so give me a moment, please. Bada bing, bada boom, now the back seats are down, and look at how much space you have now. This is going to be great for moving, going to college, anything of the sort. Really, really impressive back seat space. I know I apologize in some of my reviews, I forget to fold the seats down, but not this one. We are being better today. Up here, I do have a lock button, lock the whole vehicle, and it'll close the tailgate. Absolutely love that. Now, before we hop back up front, one thing I do want to point out is these door handles. So if you'll notice this little dot, I don't know if you can see that on camera, that is to lock it. So you just hit your hand up against it and that locks it. However, to unlock it, all you have to do is, as long as the key is in your pocket, walk up, grab the handle like normal, and you hear that beep, and then it is open. So close it, locked, grab the handle, unlocked. Now we got to talk about the looks. This is finished in the polymetal gray, which I think is fantastic. It's a fantastic color. It's very modern, very fresh, and very different. It's not black, silver, or white. I love the look of it. I love the black wheels. I know some people don't like black wheels, but I really, really like the look of it. And I think overall, it's a really, really good looking SUV. And so my final thoughts here on the CX-30 Turbo is that this really is a fantastic car. Now let me get the downsides out of the way. $33,000 for a smaller SUV is a lot of money. There's no getting around that. $33,000 is a lot of money. However, I really do think that it's worth it. There are tons of very premium options here in the CX-30. My heated steering wheel and heated seats, the premium audio system, the sunroof, the polymetal paint, the memory seats, the power tailgate. The overall feeling in here, the materials are very, very nice. They're very good materials. This feels like a $30,000 vehicle. If you just sent a picture of the interior to someone, said, how much do you think this car costs? I guarantee you no one's saying below $30,000. And if I were to buy this car, I would truly feel as though I got $33,000 worth of car. And honestly, I'm just glad that this CX-30 exists because it's a true argument ender. People always complain about how many SUVs there are. Every auto manufacturer has so many SUVs. So there's the argument. I want an SUV that's sporty and fun to drive. CX-30. Yeah, but I want something with a turbo. CX-30. Yeah, okay, but I want something that actually feels nice and luxurious. CX-30. Right, but it needs to be able to stand out. CX-30 in polymetal gray. I want something unique, not from Honda or Toyota that everyone has one of those. CX-30. But it needs a good sound system. CX-30. with the premium package. I mean, it just goes on and on. This is the fun, cool, hip SUV. Yes, every single manufacturer has some type of SUV these days. Actually, as a matter of fact, most of them have multiple SUVs. But this is a fun one. Let this save you from boring SUVs, because this is not boring. Fun to drive, it's well equipped, it's luxurious, it's refined, it's comfortable, quiet. Really like how quiet it is. You really just can't go wrong with the Cx-30 Turbo. So yes, $33,000 is quite a bit of money, but from where I'm sitting, I can see every dollar's worth. And that makes me feel good. That makes me feel really good. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Huge thank you to Napleton Mazda in Naperville for letting me take out their Cx-30 Turbo. They are absolutely awesome. They have tons of these on the lot, as well as they have, of course, Miatas, Turbo Mazda 3s, which I cannot recommend enough, the Mazda Cx-9, which I really like, Cx-5, Mazda 6, whatever it is, Mazda of Naperville has it. Their information is up on the screen, as well as linked in the description below. They will get you into the right vehicle, and let me tell you, you will not regret looking at this here Cx-30. It's really, really something special, and I can't ask anything more out of an SUV. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to rate the video, comment on the video, and subscribe if you really liked it. Take care, guys.